Well, yeah, we had our annual Christmas party. Is it a week ago Tuesday about that, yeah? And, yeah, the first heavy snow.
Oh.
So we had lots of food and very few people, but we had a good time. We did do some toy giveaways. We worked with, perishable items and clothing for the Brothers Club on the corner to help them do a giveaway for people in the neighborhood. We have organized a block club for the Plymouth Avenue, but it's from Magnolia to Magnolia to Bart, and we're having our second block club meeting on Saturday. Our Christmas party signaled the dispense of monthly meetings for the PLEX Association until April. So we will not be having a second Tuesday meeting for the PLEX Neighborhood Association. We will be having an executive committee meeting once a month to stay abreast of what's going on around us and to do some planning for the PLEX season.
Frame. The larger context for PLEX is that we're within the brownfield three-phase plan. The first 0 to 7 years is to do the study of the area there. So this is basically the year 0 is the one of that first phase. So rather than just sit back and as a neighborhood do nothing, what PLEX is doing is to look at the land that it has in terms of the vacant lots, the properties that could be perhaps renovated, or the properties that perhaps if it's a vacant lot, maybe could be added to the home next door and to expand things. So it gives us a chance to do a really good look at the space and land in our area. The thing that struck us is we've got a wonderful concentration on South Plymouth Avenue. This would be South Plymouth Avenue here, Seward Street is to the west of that, and Exchange Street is down here. We discovered a wonderful concentration of vacant lots at one of the most significant anchors of our neighborhood, and that's the Gandhi Institute. So at 929 South Plymouth Avenue, you have the anchor of the Gandhi Institute doing wonderful work with restorative justice and peacemaking and stuff like that. Adjacent to the home there, they've been able to reclaim the land for permaculture. Then this summer they had a wonderful festival with upright pianos outdoors there, so that it's becoming established as being a magnet to our neighborhood. And as we look at the map there, we found that this had formerly been a dairy site. The Plymouth Dairy was located there. The actual bottling plant, and the bottling plant is now a vacant lot now. So think of an area that would be perhaps the size of where 3 homes would have been. It would be the size basically of where this bottling plant had been. But as a bottling plant, they had a next door garage for the small vehicles would then take the milk home from house to house in the old days. So that building now is a warehouse in poor shape. The group called Prosper Rochester is now looking at that former warehouse garage type building and examining it from the standpoint of could this perhaps be an aquaponics site? In today's world, there's just so much overfishing that it's going to be a reality that in not too distant future, fish supplies are getting more limited. So it's a growing field, and the beauty is that we've got a wonderful model here. I'm going to pass it around. This is the State School of Industry, and they had a greenhouse there that a few years ago was just in total disrepair. And instead of doing it as a traditional greenhouse, they were able to get donated materials to create what is called aquaculture and aquaponics. They're actually 2 separate processes. Aquaculture is the growing of fish, and aquaculture is then the growing of fruits and vegetables using the nutrients that were in the fish tank area. So you have a system whereby the fish are growing to a larger size. They could be sold in a restaurant, or they could be used to restock the Genesee. You've got basically walleye, you've got catfish, you've got bass. So the type of fish should be grown in this type of an aquaculture could either be sold as food in roughly an 18-month time to grow to maturity, or some could even be done to restock our neighborhood river area. So what's happening now is the group called Prosper Rochester is trying to acquire the former warehouse area. The dream would be to replicate the industry project there. This becomes a real win-win situation because the young persons who have been in industry at the state school there, when they come back to Rochester, what do they have? So now we have a new way of looking at them as being, these are now trained technicians in an emerging field. Let's get these guys to work. Rather than try to find a job for a kid who's come back from industry, let's create a business and put them in because they already know what they're doing. So what PLEX is doing now is to support the effort of Prosper Rochester. They're at the very earliest stages. They don't want to overstate their progress at this point. But what's emerging now is looking at this place on Plymouth Avenue in a much broader context. PLEX calls this PLEX C.A.M.P.U.S. Campus is an acronym for Community and Multiversity Project for Urban Sustainability. We want this concentration of land here. Now, pass this around here, you can see how they're clustered together. The goal is to have the Plymouth Avenue area around the Gandhi Street to become a clustered area to draw in our multiversities. And it would be the U of R, of course. You're already there. The wonderful work of the Gandhi folks there has been the foundation. Now with the river being nearby and the improvement of bicycle paths there, we can now get RIT students to go along the Riverway Trail, cross the pedestrian bridge, and we're working with the DEC, with Mark Greger, to do some wayfinding techniques to help people find their way from the U of R campus, find their way up Flint Street to get to Gandhi Street and to get to 19th School and to get to the Flint Street Rec Center. So what we're trying to do now is to create a climate, create a buzz basically to say, this is the area that is going to be addressing needs that our new mayoral administration finds dear to their heart. That's entrepreneurial types of situations. So here we've got a replicable program that's been successful at industry. We have the students returning from industry who need a functional job when they get back to the community. Let's take this derelict warehouse, put it to use within that campus area there, but then also draw in other groups. Let's have perhaps mentoring done in some of the nearby residential homes that could be reclaimed easily. So what PLEX is doing now is to put this idea forth to the new mayoral transition team and to say that as you're looking forward, please consider this as being a realistic, doable, and affordable project that could yield quick results using a replicable model that could be done in other quadrants of the city as well. So that's where PLEX is heading at this time. And to be able to showcase this, PLEX was asked by the Rochester Regional Community Design Center that just gave the COTS group the landscape grant. They've asked PLEX to be a representative group of grassroots development. So what will be taking place in mid-January will be a setup at the Design Center on East Main Street. We'll have a gallery display of our posters for the three-phase brownfield. There's also going to be what we call our blue sky poster, which is going to be talking about the idea of PLEX C.A.M.P.U.S, the Community and Multiversity Project for Sustainability. We're going to have some very clever ways to kind of make it fun and interactive to be able to see what's in store there for PLEX neighborhoods. So we'll be partnering with the Rochester Cycling Alliance as being one of the other gallery presenters. There will also be Renovation present there, and the Market View Heights people will be there as well. So they'll have a soft opening in mid-January for the gallery, and then first Friday in February will be the major opening date for that. But it should last for another month's time for being a walking gallery. So we're busy.
One other thing, I forgot, Dorothy and I were very busy over the weekend explaining to our friends and family and neighbors about the three initiatives that we had to vote on from the West Civic community. And John, you wrote a nice explanation of why we went with Initiative 2. We were kind of like talking to individuals and explaining them why we chose Initiative 2, because it supports this idea of PLEX campus. And it supports not only PLEX, but it's good for the Southwest because it's entrepreneurial in nature, and it can help so many people, children, people, houses, everything, developing the land. So we were quite busy with that.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you mentioned that because I saw there was a lot of people that voted online. I actually printed out the votes that they showed. I like that they showed how many votes each one got. So that was a good.
Did they show the winning one yet?
Not yet. No. I printed this out.
Any of the data? Can you share?
Like on the 16th, I printed this out, and
well, the 16th was the day of.
Well, this was, I went to their website and I voted, it was the last day to vote was the 16th, and then I printed this out, so I'm not sure if this is up to date. Yeah, it's probably old. But the lots of areas, but it was increasing opportunities for youth and families was a big highlight. Then a second highlight was enhancing neighborhood block clubs and business associations. Creating inviting and safe surroundings was another big topic. And improving city hall citizens' relationships, and then miscellaneous was like surveillance and PAC-TAC involvement. But if you go to the city's website, it was really nicely that everything's very public on that website now. I think more so now than ever that I've seen. And very interactive. You can get to all the different PDFs and read the details of the meeting that was held to obtain and break it down to this level. And then everybody had an opportunity to vote on these, and then they're going to bring that together and come up with a plan. It's $50,000 per quadrant that will be spent on some of these initiatives. So thank you guys for sending in your suggestions. That's really, you laid it out nicely on your letter to the city too.